I sort of realized that the sort of community cafe, good coffee, healthy food, friendly staff, that was lacking a little bit in New York, and that was something that I missed from back home. Sort of told my mum that I wanted to open a cafe, something small, didn't want to dive in too deep, didn't really have the experience. I only had $150,000 that my dad had left me many years ago. The dream kind of sat there for about 2 years before it happened, and we got lucky. We opened in 2014, our first location. We're just about to open our 9th location in Dallas. The rest is kind of history. We grew organically. We opened with just coffee, and then we got a few pastries, and then we baked a banana bread, and then we got juices and smoothies involved, and it kind of just rolled from there. And luckily, people really enjoyed the concept. We wanted to bring that light, bright, healthy, fresh, sort of beachside cafe, that was from back home in Sydney. Yeah, we evolved and we grew. We kind of didn't necessarily start it with the intention to grow the brand to numerous locations. We saw the opportunity to grow the brand and have been doing that for this is our 11th year in business. And we've worked together for 7.
Coming up to 8, yeah.
Coming up to 8 years. Lucy started as a barista and has worked her way up and is amazing. Pretty much all the corporate team members are from internal growth within the company, which we very much believe in. We opened 4 locations in New York before we ventured outside, which was Austin, Texas, which was our first store outside New York. That was in October of 2020 we opened. Fortunately, we had a lot of success with that store. We still do. It's still our best performing unit. And because of that sparked my growth outside of New York, finding this space, as I mentioned. I knew Nashville relatively well, but I knew this neighborhood, and Samara Road, the developer who's kind of taken over this neighborhood, they're a New York-based company. They knew of our concept, and I've loved working with them. When we opened here, this was a hole in the ground, and it was a really daunting 12 months because the success here didn't hit as quickly as it did in Austin, and the ramp period went longer than we expected. But we had patience, and we were able to basically we've doubled revenue almost. This is now our most profitable location. We're excited to grow here further. We just opened 3 months ago in Franklin, Tennessee, and in the factory, and that has been a lot more successful from the get-go than this was. There's a great community here. We've been able to find a lot of regulars. There's Aussie community that has tapped into us. There's different sort of, I call them imports, who have moved here from New York or, and looking for those amenities and looking for the growth here of the hospitality scene, the F&B scene, the quality. But, being all the while conscious of coming into a smaller town and trying, and we sort of pride ourselves on becoming a focal point for the community to come. We're all day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We want people to be coming 3 times a week, coming for brunch, date night, whatever the case may be. I feel like there was definitely a warm embrace from Nashville. And it's learnings. I think Franklin, we're learning the market there is very different in terms of their needs and wants. It's all about the adaptation process of the concept. We aren't controlled by any major fund or anything, so we can make those decisions and we can be pliable and we can change. Well, we learned that very quickly in Austin when people were up in arms that we didn't do iced tea refills, which is a foreign thing
in New York,
New York to refill anything for free. Our tea is really good quality. It's expensive. It comes from, it's an Australian company. But we adapted, and now we offer iced tea refills. As we've learned in different markets, we've also brought things back to New York in terms of our home base, I guess. We've actually sort of decided what the streamline will be, which is mostly based on what we do in New York, and we use that across the board. That's been a challenge, but it's also been great for us to adapt in new markets and just to keep on top of all the different moving parts that come with owning and operating outside where you live or your core market. The growth of Two Hands has been somewhat non-traditional in terms of typically New York-based concepts, and for future growth, the focus will be on infilling the markets that we're already in.